Chris!
Yeah?
We got guests coming over in an hour. Are you gonna be ready?
Yeah? That's like ages away.
You still have to shower and clean your room.
Yeah, it's fine. I could do this and get ready in like 10 minutes.
15 minutes later.
Chris!
Yeah? Oh!
Gotta be quick, gotta be quick, gotta be quick! Quick! Be quick, gotta 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 be quick!
Okay, let's tidy, let's tidy, let's tidy, let's tidy. Get everything neat and tidy and...
They're here!
Where did all the time go? Hello ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about the concept of time and space. I'm just kidding. I actually do want to talk about the concept of time though and ADHD. But don't worry, the whole video should probably only take like about 2 minutes or something. I think. Okay, now I'm going to ask you a question and be honest here. How many times have you been asked to do a task or you've set out to do something and then you're always like, oh yeah, I could probably do it in like 10 minutes. And then before you know it, like an hour's gone by and you're sat there thinking, where did all the time go? For me, it's like when somebody at work is asking me to, let's say, edit a photo for them, and I always tell them, yeah, if you give me 10 minutes, I'll finish it for you. And then I'll start working. Like 20 or 30 minutes later, they're back at my desk asking me if I'm done, and I like can't believe where the time has gone. I'm still sat there thinking, well, you said you'd give me 10 minutes, when in reality, it's been like half an hour and I'm still not finished. You know that something similar has happened to you. I just know it. Now, it doesn't just happen like that either. It happens when you're always late for things or you just aren't very good at doing long-term saving. It always happens when there is a concept of time involved with it. Like, that is just my entire life. Well, it turns out there's an actual name for this phenomenon. It's called time blindness. Now, I know what you're thinking, because my wife thought the same thing. Chris, like everybody has that problem, not just people with ADHD. Everybody has a point where time slips away from them or where they're late for stuff. And while that's true, this is a little bit different. Basically, everybody has this thing called a time horizon. And basically what that is it's how far you can see over the horizon of the future on how long things will take to do. So like here's a for instance, if you have a project that's due in like 6 months, say, you know that if you put a couple of hours aside once a month over the next 6 months, you can steadily get that project finished and it's done, right? For you, your executive function in your brain can tell you that that's what you would need to do to get that project finished early and on time. For ADHDers, they know that the time is there, and in some ways, they have a better concept of the time than you do. It's just that they realistically can't see the time it's going to take to finish it until it's like last minute or it's almost too late. So a really great instance of this is, let's just say you have a job interview, right? And the job interview's at 3 o'clock, right? So you get up in the morning and a normal brain would be like, right, I'm gonna get a shower now in the morning, and then I'm gonna eat, and then I'm gonna, you know, do everything that I need to do, and then I'm gonna make sure that I'm totally ready way beforehand. And then I know that I need to set off like 15 minutes early just in case there's traffic, and you know, so I can get there nice and early, all that kind of stuff, right? That's how a normal brain processes it over the time. Whereas an ADHD brain, it doesn't have the executive functioning to plan that far ahead. So in my brain, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, wow, well, this interview isn't until 3 o'clock. I have tons of time. I know exactly how long it takes me to shower. I know exactly how long it takes me to get ready. I know that it takes 30 minutes to get to this place. So because I know these times exactly, I don't need to worry about it. So my brain's telling me, oh, don't worry about it, Chris. You're fine. You got like plenty of time. It isn't even till 3 o'clock. So chill. So that's what I do, I chill out. So then it gets to the point eventually where there's literally only time to do the things that I know exactly what I need the time for, if that makes sense. That's the point where an ADHD person's dopamine kicks into their brain, and that's where their executive functioning comes into play. And they're like, right, okay, pressure's on, I know what I'm doing, I'm gonna get there on time. So then they start their process of doing things. The problem with this is that if you run into any delays at all, you're gonna be late. You see, this all goes back to, like I said, executive functioning in the brain. With an ADHD brain, you have like an impairment in your executive functioning. And that impairment is that your neurons don't fire the same way a normal brain would. And that's why when the pressure of it being last minute and that dopamine kicks in, your neurons start firing, and then you can actually start to do your planning and execution. Looking at it in the long term, I had like a breakthrough with this with my savings. I had just recently built this brand new chart on how we were gonna use our money in the future. It had like funneled money going to what we needed to spend and our bills, and then also money that went to savings, and it was accurate down to the penny, and it was amazing. And for the first few months, it worked really amazing. But then the savings started to get less and less, and it started to get a little bit more unorganized. Now, thinking about it, it's because I designed everything down to the penny, but I couldn't see far forward enough to adjust for everything else that comes after that. All the other things that you're gonna need to spend money on, and all the other things that might crop up. I just didn't have the executive functioning to think and compensate for things that might happen in the future like a normal person would. And this kind of sucks, right? But I also think that that's why we are hands down the best people to be with in a high pressure situation. Because when it comes to problems that need an immediate resolution, we thrive under that pressure. And it's basically because we spend our entire lives living in that pressure. So I guess it's kind of awesome too. So does this sound like you? Does this sound like something you go through on a day-to-day basis? I'm betting it does. And that's all I have to say on it, really. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe, click the bell icon, stay up to date with all my new videos, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one.